What's my motivation? Hi, I'm Matthew Kinslow, and in this video I would love to answer the question, what's my motivation? In hopes of being some form of a motivation for other people. So let me define that, like what's my motivation, or what drives me, what pushes me to believe that I could do what I set my mind to do, and that one day I will land in the career that I want to be in, and be the person I want to be. Well, it comes from a whole wide background. Sometimes when I see somebody that I could relate passion-wise, it just motivates me to pursue a long-term goal, no matter how hard some of the concepts of my classes could be, especially pursuing a bachelor's in biochemistry. To preface this, I used to have a strong desire to get into the medical field, and I had an equal strong, tenacious passion of wanting to get into elementary school teaching. And it sort of happened like within a year from each other. And at first I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. I was set. And part of what motivated me was thinking back of my elementary school teachers and the influence that has left on me. Also, movies. There were, whenever there's movies or television series or anything like that that featured a teacher, or talked about a teacher that didn't give up and became one of the best teachers, that sort of motivates me. I'll go ahead and give you two of my most favorite movies that talks about teachers and how they just never gave up no matter what. One of them is Front of the Class, about Brad Cohen, who has Tourette syndrome. And my third grade teacher, who taught, I believe, second grade at the time, recommended it to me when I told him I want to be an elementary school teacher. The reason why he recommended it to me was because he knows I have autism, Asperger's syndrome, and he foresaw something that I wouldn't be surprised, a long uphill battle trying to get a job with autism or Asperger's syndrome. So he recommended this movie about a person who has Tourette syndrome and just never gave up, and after several schools and after a long time not giving up, he finally got a teaching job. Not only that, but he got like Teacher of the Year award. And so just watching that video sort of motivates me. Well, I could do that too. I don't have Tourette syndrome, I have Asperger's, but there's a lot of similar things between us, a lot of facing a childhood of discrimination, and even facing an adulthood with discrimination, and I can testify to that. And the other movie, a movie that I've actually watched years before Front of the Class, is The Ron Clark Story, about a teacher that came from quaint North Carolina, where everybody's polite, to Harlem in New York City. And even the principal didn't want to give him a chance, but he took a gamble, and Ron Clark became one of the best teachers in the area, and published a couple of books about it. Those are some things that motivate me, and sometimes when I need motivation, sometimes I play those movies in the background or think about it. But of course it's not just those movies. When I had a passion to get into the medical field, which began in the summer of 2012 when I got certified as an emergency medical responder, which is just below an EMT. When I got certified, that highly just made me want to help people, engage with people, patients, take vital signs, talk with them, and everything, just wanting to help however I can medically. Those two things, clashed from like 2012 to 2018, and then in 2018 I allowed my teaching passion to exceed by 1%. Now it's 51%, 49%, and then boom, now I'm like definitely set to be a middle school math and science teacher. Medical passion, I sort of lost it. I sort of lost the passion, and I'm not sure if I'll ever take EMT or not, maybe down the road, but I still have, passion to help, of course, but to pursue higher education in medicine, I don't know anymore. But what's really in my heart, and probably what's been on my heart the whole time, is teaching. I don't know, I guess when I watch shows or movies or see people who are actual teachers, it just motivates me. And this is the thing that happens to me. It's very hard to describe. I would describe it as a tangible cloud of motivation. Okay, now think of a cloud. If a cloud starts right here, it's going to grow, it's going to expand. Tangible meaning, well, you could feel it, and it's a feeling that starts right here in the heart. Not the organ, but the heart of man, and it's tangible. It's not in my mind, I could feel it, and it just expands. But as it expands, kind of like a cloud, it just fades, and it lasts for maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds, maybe a little longer. And whenever I think about I guess when I make a connection between a character or a real person and the future, the person that I want to become, like a motivator, a teacher, an encourager, it just creates that tangible cloud. When I had strong medical passions, whenever there would be a series, a television series, a movie, a show that was all about medicine and first responders and doctors and nurses and paramedics and EMTs, or whether it was one episode of a television series that didn't have to do with medicine, but there's one or a few episodes that had a doctor in it or a paramedic and they help people, or if it's a movie that's not about medicine but there's a scene in there with a rescue scene or something, it just it motivates me. It gives me that tangible cloud, the aforementioned tangible cloud I was talking about or trying to articulate, and just it makes me just want to keep on pursuing what I'm doing in college to get to a career. Well, I'm not sure if I'll get into a medical career, but I guess there's an association between medicine and science, because medicine is a science, and even though I may not want to continue going the medical science route, I'm still going the science route. I have a degree in chemistry and I'm working on a bachelor's in biochemistry, which could get hard, university level and such, but just the fact and the excitement and the passion that's within that aforementioned cloud, if I could best describe it like that, it just drives me to push harder and have fun while learning. Sometimes when I think about my organic chemistry textbook, sometimes when I see pictures, or sometimes when I see professors or when I see scientists, or even a picture of one, it just motivates me to really dive in and learn it. Same thing with calculus. I mean, I love math and such, and when I think about mathematicians, when I think about my math professors, and when I think about how much I like trigonometry and calculus and algebra and such, it just has a motivation. It just gives me those excitement, passionate feelings to strive harder and just stick with it, and just not give up. Now, I do understand that some of these complex material isn't for everybody, but the purpose of this video is if you haven't already, to try and find what motivates you. You probably are a person that just won't have anything to do with science and math, and that's okay. There's tons and tons of career that don't require that. I'm just using this as an example. I mean, everybody could have the same exact feelings, and look at a television show or a movie or a YouTuber to give them that boost of, I guess, encouragement or motivation to kind of drive them to continue and such. But of course, it's not just one thing. It's not just medicine or teaching. I get motivated for a lot of things, and one of them is just basic family. Whenever there's a television show with the ideal family, or more like a realistic family, and just seeing how they deal with it the right way and the correct way, it just kind of, it gives me that same above mentioned just cloud of motivation, the tangible cloud of motivation that stirs up inside of me, this passion, that I know that in the future, like keeping up the hard work and not giving up, I will land that teaching job, and I will meet a future wife and raise a family. And to think one day, having, being settled in a career that I love to do with all my heart, and on top of that, being, a father, husband, and when I see like some shows or television series that's based on family, then it just kind of, it motivates me. Usually family shows from the 90s and before, perhaps as far back as the 50s, it just gives me that excitement that one day I will get to sort of have my turn, and I really hope and pray I will do a good job at everything that I do. So that's sort of what motivates me. It's other people. It's my passion motivates me, so not necessarily me, but my passion within me, wanting to pursue what I'm pursuing. And media, I guess, if I could summarize everything into one word: television, movies. And these are things that I would just love to keep in my mind, because if I one day like start to feel down or start to lose hope or something, or if things get hard, I think about these things about others, whether they're a fictional character played by good actors, I would have to say, or real people in the profession. Then I think about that. It kind of gives me that boost, that energy, like, listen, Matthew, you could do this. Just open up those books. I'm determined, I'm ambitious to meet my goal. And I hope that through all of this and what I've said, that if you're listening to this and you haven't yet figured it out, like what your motivation is or what your passions are, I hope that this is a form of motivation. And whether you find it in the future or you're watching this and you're already set, you know what you want to do, or you're already in a career and like 10, 20 years ago you've had this motivation, I would love for you to share it. You could comment below and share it. And sometimes I would contend to this, sometimes writing it out could really add value and belonging to your life as you write out like what's in your mind, like, boy, this is what motivated me and this is what I've become. And so I'm encouraging you to just write it out. And if it's a lot, maybe you could start a little YouTube channel. I'm just fortunate enough to reach through to some people, including this platform on this channel. And one person commented saying that I just inspired him to, really get serious in his YouTube channel. So I'm just grateful to have some part in it. Whenever I think back of my Royal Rangers commander, growing up in the past 20 years in Royal Rangers and the last 7 as a commander, or when I see pictures, Royal Rangers pictures, whether my old pictures or pictures all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, about Royal Rangers, it gives me motivation. It gives me the sense of, exploration. Everything that Royal Rangers teaches you, the leadership skills to the camping skills, and it just, images or scenes of, naturescapes, forests to trees, mountains, lakes, and tents. It just, I guess it just intensifies the motivation, the passions that I have, my passion to give back as a Royal Ranger commander myself now. Thinking back of my other commanders, those that have passed on and those that are still alive, just gives me, just motivation. Like, they did it, and they did this for me and all us other boys, and now I just want to give back, and it just motivates me. I think one of the greatest things that could motivate me further is hearing compliments from the ones that I make it my life's mission to help out. When I hear compliments, when that 5th grader 4 years ago told me that I inspired him in astronomy, when I hear thank yous and such, that's probably the best motivation of all. And so that's my message in this video. Also, I will encourage again, if anybody has a question, an idea for a future video, or something like, what do I think about this, or how do I react to that in terms of my autism or Asperger's syndrome, or maybe you're reading my book and you're wondering, what did I mean by this, or what did I mean by that? Please comment below if you have such questions. Just communicate, and if it is a lot, like where I can't like type it out, I would love to make a video answering just like this and just giving an answer to it. Stay strong, do not give up, keep at it, find your somebody or something to motivate you, to give you the drive, to give you the boost, so that you could, you know, feel that tangible cloud of motivation that stirs up in your heart, and that it permeates you with this, you know, this feeling of success, like in the future that you will feel successful. So that's my encouragement and hopefully motivation to you, and have an excellent day.